How you doing today? Catholic Dad here. Oh, man, Lent is sure flying by this year, isn't it? It is. I can't believe it. We're in to the end of Lent. You know, we're in a home stretch here, and I've just been having such a wonderful Lent. It's been a struggle. It's been rough, you know, and that's what Lent's supposed to be about. That's what so many people miss, the fact that Lent is supposed to be a struggle. It's supposed to be to help us realize that we're not God, and that we need God in order to accomplish these things. And so, while falling is never necessarily a good thing, when it comes to falling in Lent, to missing your scheduled prayer time, or whatever the case may be, you know, it's a reminder that there's still work to be done. Okay? So, let's go ahead and get started on today's reflection. Let's clear our minds. Let's put everything out to the back seat. Get rid of it and just put ourselves in the presence of God, okay? A bowl full of vinegar stood there. So they put a sponge full of vinegar on hyssop and held it to his mouth. When Jesus had received the vinegar, he said, "It is finished." Now, when we look at this, Scott Hahn has a beautiful reflection on it. It's actually called The Fourth Cup. And I put it on the website there for you to get it and read it. And it's really, I think it's a powerful reflection on what is going on here in reality. You know, Jesus, it begins his, the Passover meal. Many of you may do the Seder meal in your churches. And there's specific cups which you drink from at specific times that signify different things. Well, if we look at Scripture and we read through the Last Supper, they never drank the last cup. They sing a hymn and then they go to the garden to pray. Now, if we look at this, then we realize that the Seder, the Passover, isn't finished until Jesus drinks this cup before bowing his head and giving up his spirit. Which then makes the Seder reach out, the Passover reach out, and brings it into the salvation of the cross. Now, I don't want to go too far into there because it will ruin everything that Dr. Hahn says in his book, but it's a great book. Again, if you go to our website, www.adventuresoffatherhood.com, click up in the top where it says suggested product, whatever. I'll have it in there. But whenever he says it is finished, it is a moment of both sorrow and a moment of great rejoicing for us all. It's where the term Good Friday comes in. How can you say it's a Good Friday when God died? But the reason that God died was for our salvation. So that it was good in that God conquered death, that Christ conquered death. And in that, this moment that it's finished is both a rejoicing that he had accomplished that salvific mission of overcoming the temptations of earthly things coming at him. it also signifies and brings together the suffering is over, both for him and for us. Because now he has descended to Abraham's bosom. That's what we call it, descended to hell. We don't mean fire and brimstone hell. We mean the afterworld, the afterlife. He descended down because remember the gates of heaven have been closed. And so we have all these Father, Moses, Abraham, all these, Adam, his own father Joseph. The gates of heaven have been closed. And so in Abraham's bosom, in the lower hell, he descended down into this region where these where the patriarchs have been, and he opened for them the gates of heaven at that point. So it is finished also should be something that we look upon as in that is finished. Abraham's bosom no longer exists. That place is when Jesus bowed his head and gave up his spirit and died. He descended to that place, welcomed those who believed and followed him or followed the Lord's message in the Old Testament and was faithful to God. He brought them up and allowed them to enter the gates of heaven again. And so it is a great and glorious thing for us because now we have direct access to heaven. A lot of people say, why would God, a loving God, send people to hell? Well, now it's basically what Jesus has done is he's made it possible for you to choose freely which direction you want to go. You choose. I always tell my kids are like, why did you punish me? I didn't punish you. My job is to make the law, make you obey it. You punish yourself. Here's the rules. You broke them. You chose to break them. You have punished yourself. I'm just the executioner, pal. Don't blame me. But that's what, God doesn't send us to hell. We freely choose. When we freely choose to sin, we freely choose to deny going to heaven. It's, I think, a very telling thing of our love for the Lord if we choose to love him. Isn't it? It's not good if we're not free to choose. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Well, I know I'm crazy, but in these final moments from the cross, Jesus tells us these warm, comforting words that it is finished, that all things have been ordered, and that the time is here. He has shown up the Pharisees. He has shown up the Sadducees, all the naysayers. He's finished it. In the folly of the cross, as the church oftentimes calls it, salvation is made true. What crazy, crazy organizations would make their symbol that of their leader being crucified. Think about that. When we see a crucifix, it brings to mind a terrible moment, but also it brings about a divine love that conquers all. No other place has any God in the history of all antiquity been mentioned that the God died for the created. Jesus at this moment has proven his pure, absolute, outstanding love. Here it is, my brothers and sisters. It is complete. Think about that this week. And as I said in the last thing, as he's up there on the cross with his arms open wide, showing you his divine love, I have done this for you. What will you do for me? God is too humble to say it. He wants your love. That's all it is. And when you love somebody, you're willing to walk through fire, hell, and damnation to prove it to them. We don't question. We just do it because we love them. That's it. As we round out this Lenten season, and we proceed into this most holy of weeks, remember that it's love. Show him you love him. Sometimes it's harder than you think. Ain't that right, brothers and sisters? Just remember, if you fall, get back up. Dust yourself off and keep trying again. If you like these Lenten things, these Lenten reflections, we're looking at possibly starting something up after Easter. Not necessarily reflections, but more, we're going to do a little series on teaching on the saints, possibly the saints of the Roman canon, and possibly the saints of America, because there's a lot of them out there that a lot of people don't know about. And we're going to do some things on the churches in America, the beautiful churches in America. So if you like these, click on the subscribe button down at the bottom there so that you won't miss those whenever we get to those and put those up. We got some new and exciting things that we're going to do and work with. I've said before, my brother edits these things, and so he's got a green screen. And so God only knows what you're going to see behind me from time to time. But we're going to take some adventures together and go from there. So again, if you like what you see, like our pages, subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe or like our Facebook, our Pinterest, our Twitter account, and please go on the website, www.adventuresoffatherhood.com. Scroll down to the bottom, you can sign up for the Road to Emmaus newsletter. I put out one once a month. It's just some reminders and different things about what's going on in the church. For example, the bishops just issued a letter in regards to liturgical music. We're going to have a little explanation on there, kind of summing it up in an easy to understand words. So if you like that kind of stuff, like us. Again, we're here for you. If you have any suggestions, please let us know in the comments. Shoot us an email, whatever the case may be. I'm praying for you. My family's praying for you. I hope you have a wonderful Lent remainder. And just remember, I love you. So is Jesus.